Good evening, second video tonight. This is Melissa, the Portable RN. So, what I wanted to say is, I've made a couple of videos so far, and I did say the purpose of this channel is to educate the patients in regards to medical terminology in the hospital world. And you may hear me leave out some medical terminology, and that's quite all right. I'm going to tell you why that's important for those who are watching and they're part of the medical field. Way back when, yeah, it's story time. Way back when I was a new nurse, didn't even touch the field, but graduated. I had my second child, and she was about 2 years old, maybe 2 to 3 years old. And she had a fever. So we was at home, she was having a fever, always do my routine thing. Maybe when I get a certain temp, I'll give them something for the fever. And this time it wasn't so high. I think last I checked it was like 99.0. And she was resting on the couch, and I just always, no matter what I'm doing, I'm rather gonna check on you frequently. As far as my children, or if I'm cleaning the house, you're just gonna be out in the living room on the couch. But I keep it quiet with my sweeping and things, so I can keep an eye on you. So I noticed she begins shaking. Now, remember, I'm a nurse. I learned all about this stuff, fully educated by the state of Florida. Got my degrees, got my license and everything, right? Big time nurse, you think? I saw her head she was eyes closed and her head was kind of moving on the couch. And I got closer to it and I hear snorting. I'm like, what is wrong with her? And, I kind of tap on her a bit to see if she'll wake up. And she wasn't waking up, and I realized she was having a seizure. Now, I never seen a seizure with any of my rotations during nursing, schooling. I heard about them, seen them probably on videos, but I recognized, oh shoot, this is a seizure. So I called 911, and I'm on the phone with the operator, and she was great. And the dispatcher, she was great. And she was like, ma'am, just calm down, I'm here with you. And I want you to count each time that she breathes. I want you to just say now. And I was so freaked out. I had my daughter in my hands, and I'm running outside, looking for help. And I freaking panic. I panic. This is my baby, and oh my gosh, she's in distress. What do I do? What do I do? My nursing school went flat out the window. Flat out the window. Even as a medical professional. So I say that to say this, and she's okay. It was a febrile seizure. Just a little knowledge with this, what I learned with that, seizures aren't just caused by just a high temperature. So sometimes, if you have a patient that's 103, 104, it's important to get it down. But she was 99.0 last time I checked. And when I rechecked it, when the medics finally came, the ambulance finally came, it was 101 or 102, and I was like, whoa. And what they explained to me once I got to the hospital and educated me, they said, it's not that it went high too fast. The body doesn't, it can't take that fast adjustment. It looks for something gradual. So if it goes, high too fast or drops too fast, the body may react that way. So they gave me more education. Jada is now 13, and she's doing quite fine. And with febrile seizures, at the end of the day, they say if you make it past 6 years old without seizures, it's not something you continue to just look into. So she's doing fine, never had a seizure, never had to go on any special meds. But I say that story to say this. Even this medical professional, sometimes you don't want to hear no type of medical terminology terminology. Let me speak more clearer. You don't want to hear any of that when you are just trying to digest a current condition that you're dealing with in a hospital. You can't even digest it. So this is why I'm very depending on where a patient is with their care. You know, immediate distressful situations is very simple, it's very quick. But if it's day 3 or 4 and it might be a repeated med that we're giving, or a upcoming procedure that may be taking place, it's okay to kind of gradually add in those medical terminologies. Definitely the name of the procedure is important to say, but other things I'm not as medically with, let's just say it like that. So you may come across this channel and find that that's not the right word. You can look up what I'm talking about to get the medical terminology, but I'm not here to teach nurses right now. I may do a video here and there about it. I'm not here to teach doctors, but I'm here because I found it very important to teach your patients and teach patients on their level. At that moment when I was in distress with my daughter, I had all the medical terminology in the world, trust me. The Florida Board of Nurses said so. But in my distress, in that moment, I wasn't able to take in that terminology if she, you know, would have put it in the terms I would normally use in the hospital. She said, speak, say now, every time she breathes. So she wanted to just make sure she was breathing okay, breathing properly, and she was trying to time the respirations. This operator had no time at all to determine whether or not I was in the medical field. She treated me just like a layman off the streets. And so I noticed when I break things down in more simpler forms, my patients are so grateful, even the family's more grateful. And they probably heard this same teaching by different people, doctors, maybe nurses previously before me, but they seem to be more receptive to simpler terminology. I've cared for a variety of people, some young when I work with trauma patients, some older, some with this type of background in car mechanics, some also in the medical field. And I still would make sure I use baby steps and feed them baby food of what's going on with them. So I say this to say this: if this is something for you, just continue to follow. I promise you, as these ideas and thoughts come to me and my experience comes to me in regards to my teaching, and those aha moments come up in my 80-year-olds who was a nanny, seems to find my teachings appropriate, I will spill them out on this channel. I thank you for watching, and hopefully this really blesses you. You have a good night.